Pacifica, this is Democracy Now!
This is a human catastrophe of unimaginable dimension. Port-au-Prince, the Port-au-Prince I have known for years is virtually unrecognizable.
Randall Robinson, author of An Unbroken Agony, Haiti from Revolution to the Kidnapping of a President. He's referring to the ousted president, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, as most aid has yet to reach the people of Port-au-Prince. Aristide speaks out from South Africa.
We are going to join the people of Haiti, to share in their suffering, help rebuild the country, moving from misery to poverty with dignity.
The Red Cross estimates 45,000 to 50,000 people have died and more than 3 million, one-third of Haiti's population, has been hurt or left homeless. All that and more coming up. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Aid groups are struggling to reach desperate Haitians as time is running out to reach survivors trapped beneath the rubble of devastated Port-au-Prince. On Thursday, Haitian President René Préval said some 7,000 people have already been buried in a mass grave. Corpses are piled up on the streets, with hundreds of bodies just outside the city's morgue. The Red Cross says the death toll is between 45,000 to 50,000. This is Haitian Emergency Services Coordinator Evans Lescouflair.
Yesterday evening, we recovered between 3,000 and 5,000 bodies, but because of what happened, there are more bodies found in the rubble. There are some who are seriously injured, who are also dying. And tomorrow we are going to conduct an effective evaluation. Names of the dead, numbers have disappeared. It is very difficult. Many buildings have fallen. The National Palace, ministries, colleges, universities, and hotels.
UN Emergency Relief John Holmes, meanwhile, said the toll could remain unknown for a long while.
Sometime, days, maybe even weeks before we have really reliable figures on the number of dead and injured. I know that's very frustrating for you. It's not easy for us. The important point for us is that there are very large numbers of casualties of both dead and injured, more than we can easily deal with at the moment. So the exact number doesn't make any difference to our response, frankly.
Aid is slowly beginning to trickle in more than 48 hours after the earthquake struck. Aid flights were diverted for over 5 hours Thursday because of a lack of space and fuel at the Port-au-Prince airport. Earlier today, the World Food Program said its Port-au-Prince warehouses had been looted. The United Nations is planning to make an appeal today for $550 million in emergency aid. The first U.S. troops have begun to arrive in Haiti, the first wave of an expected deployment of over 5,500 U.S. forces. On Thursday, President Obama said the U.S. would contribute an initial installment of $100 million in aid to Haiti.
The first wave of our rescue and relief workers arrived on the ground yesterday. Search and rescue teams are now working around the clock to save lives. More waves of major assets are going to be arriving. This morning I announced an immediate investment of $100 million to support our relief efforts in the early days of this crisis. Most of this is for the basics: life-saving equipment, food, water, medicine. This investment will grow over the years as we help our neighbors embark on what is going to be a long-term recovery.
Obama, meanwhile, also announced he's asked former President George W. Bush and former President Bill Clinton to co-chair the U.S. relief effort in Haiti. During his first term, Bush cut off desperately needed aid to Haiti and supported the overthrow of President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. Bush's father, former President George H.W. Bush, supported the first coup against President Aristide in 1991. Clinton, meanwhile, helped restore Aristide, but only on condition that he accept harsh neoliberal policies that he'd campaigned against during his election to office. Aristide, meanwhile, spoke out yesterday from exile in South Africa. Standing with his wife Mildred Aristide, the former Haitian president said he wants to return to his country.
As we all know, many people remain buried under tons of rubble and debris, waiting to be rescued. When we think of their suffering, we feel deeply and profoundly that we should be there, in Haiti, with them, trying our best to prevent death.
We'll have more on Haiti after headlines. In Pakistan, at least 10 people have been killed in a U.S. drone attack in South Waziristan. Pakistani officials say the strike could have killed the top Taliban leader in Pakistan, Hakimullah Masood. The Taliban says Masood left before the attack and escaped harm. The attack came amidst a visit to Pakistan by the U.S. Special Envoy Richard Holbrooke. On Thursday, the Pakistani Prime Minister, Yusuf Raza Gilani, criticized the drone strike, saying they undermine Pakistani sovereignty. Meanwhile, in Afghanistan, at least 16 people were killed Thursday in a suicide bombing in Uruzgan province. It was the deadliest militant attack on Afghan civilians since September. The Obama administration and major labor unions have reached an agreement on taxing high-cost health insurance plans. The tax would help fund expanding health insurance under the health care reform bill. It had come under opposition for targeting insurance plans that unions have won in exchange for lower wages and benefits. Under the deal, union members would be exempt from the tax until 2018, 5 years after the health bill would take effect. President Obama's proposed a new tax to recoup the bailout money handed out to large financial firms during the financial crisis.
We want our money back, and we're going to get it. And that's why I'm proposing a financial crisis responsibility fee to be imposed on major financial firms until the American people are fully compensated for the extraordinary assistance they provided to Wall Street. If these companies are in good enough shape to afford massive bonuses, they are surely in good enough shape to afford paying back every penny to taxpayers.
The financial crisis responsibility fee would collect an estimated $90 billion over the next 10 years from 50 firms. The proposal will apply only to financial firms with over $50 billion in assets, exempting smaller community banks. Obama's announcement came as the Wall Street Journal reported the nation's 38 largest financial firms will pay out a record $145.85 billion in compensation for 2009. The figure marks an 18% increase over 2008 and a 6% increase over 2007. As Wall Street sees record payouts, new figures show foreclosure notices hit an all-time high last year. According to RealtyTrack, a record 2.8 million properties received foreclosure notices in 2009, a 120% increase from 2007. A new study says African-American employment is on pace to reach a 25-year high. According to the Economic Policy Institute, the national African-American unemployment rate will exceed 17% and top 20% in at least 5 states. The poverty rate for African-American children is predicted to reach as much as 50%, up from 34% in 2008. And federal regulators have unveiled proposals to impose limits on speculation in oil and other energy commodities. On Thursday, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission called for limiting how financial speculators trade energy commodities to ensure they don't help inflate prices. Under the Bush administration, the CFTC rejected speculation as a cause of rising oil prices and instead blamed supply and demand. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace